Trio.
All right, let's try this again. I just recorded almost half of the episode without recording video, and yeah, I'm a dummy. Anyways, welcome to another episode of the Fight Library. This is episode 206, I believe, for the podcast. YouTube, you don't get numbers. You just watch these videos. Anyways, I'm your host, Blaine Henry, and today we're going to be talking about Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez, specifically Joet Gonzalez cheating his balls off. Before we get into the episode, please drop a like, sub, review, whatever you listen on, watch on, whatever, just throw me a little love, baby. I need it. Also, check me out on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL, which stands for The Fight Library. And Patreon, Fight Library, if you want to support the show and, get a little extra content that is just for you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the top-ranked card that happened last night. It was good. So yeah, like I said, Joet Gonzalez really cheated a lot in this fight, and kind of he had to. We'll talk about what he did later, but I mean, when he's outmatched like he was against Navarrete, he already had a pretty bad loss to Shakur Stevenson, and this Navarrete fight was just a bludgeoning through and through. Navarrete is kind of one of those boxers that's not really technical. They all talk about, oh, he's got unique angles and stuff, which sounds just like everybody from MMA when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. So shut up about the angles. Navarrete's not a crisp boxer at all, but what he lacks in crisp, beautiful, clean punches, he makes up in, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. And he did. He beat the living piss out of Joet Gonzalez the entire night. Now, early on, Navarrete started with the body, and he goes with big old looping hooks up to when Gonzalez covers up. And, Gonzalez, he's not backing down this fight at all. And I could tell from round one, this fight was going to be a banger of somebody getting beat up, and that somebody was Joet Gonzalez, because Navarrete is very, very good. So yeah, Navarrete, like I said, he's left hook to the body, and then he likes to go upstairs. But the body shots are just brutal, man. On a lesser man, they would have crumbled on those, because those were he's just coming from the Mississippi River all the way to California with these things from his back pocket. It was just bangers. That left uppercut, often he throws it. Everybody talks about, his lead uppercut. He misses that a lot, and when he misses, he's out of position, his back's turned, his chin's exposed. I don't like him throwing that, but at the same time, like, when he lands it, it's devastating. So it's kind of a risk management thing that I guess Navarrete's doing in there. I mean, the guy just goes in to bang. He's like the stereotypical Mexican fighter where he's like, I'm gonna fight, and you guys are going to love it. And guess what? I do. I love it every single time. Emanuel Navarrete is one of my favorite guys coming up, and I just can't wait to see him fight somebody great. So I thought in round 5 it was a headbutt, and I thought Gonzalez did that incidentally, and yeah, it turns out he was just cheating his ass off, leading with his face. The announcers there, they were absolutely horrible. You look at Navarrete's face, I mean, not Navarrete, you look at Gonzalez's face right there, and it looks like, they say Navarrete can't land a clean shot with the high guard of Gonzalez. Look at that picture. That looks like clean shots to me. A broken orbital, busted up face. Navarrete hit him hard. And he hit him clean. So yeah, around the midpoint of the fight, Navarrete starts going to southpaw. And they're like, he's using tricks, all the tricks in the back. He can't land on him. He's beating the daylights out of Gonzalez. But he doesn't do anything in southpaw, kind of. He just stands there and lets his opponent be confused for a second. Another thing I don't like about Navarrete, and we'll talk about this in a second here, but he likes to lead with his face a lot, and he leaves himself open on the lead uppercut, like I said, and he's primed for a cross. So he's uppercut. Oh, right here's exposed. Right here. I'm sorry, I'm looking into the camera and it's backwards. But that's exposed. So just a cross right there, a jabbed and a cross. Pink, pink. And that's primed for a beautiful knockout. But Navarrete's tough, so you have to do that multiple times and kind of just wear him down. But he dips his head to the right, too. Yep, that's my right. He dips his head to the right. And, his left side, again, is exposed for the pink, the jab cross. That's fine. Round 9, though, Joet starts finding some success with the straights and crosses, lands some really ones. But, coming into the fight, Joet Gonzalez and his team said that Navarrete was susceptible to straight punches. And that makes sense, too, because, straight line's going to win every time if they start at the same time. Now, that said, the way that Navarrete fights is he kind of has two things he does. He's just going to overload you with volume, and not only with volume, but with heavy, heavy strikes, too. Every punch he throws hurts. Every single one is just with a lot of stank on it. Let's be real. It's a lot of stank on Navarrete's punches, and that's how he breaks his guys down, just beating the daylights out of them. But also what Navarrete does well is going backwards. He tends to throw those hooks, but he also throws a straight jab going backwards. That way, when you're coming forward, he punishes you and makes you realize, oh, I can't come forward on this guy. He's just going to back up. So what you really need to do is back him into a corner, honestly, to where he can't back up, and make him throw these hooks. But then you risk the thing of him clinching. And in the clinch, he's real good with the uppercut, too, which is one of his bread and butter punches. So, the puzzle's tough to solve, man. It really is. You just need to be a better boxer to beat Emanuel Navarrete. That's really it. So, continuing on with the fight, though, round 10, we had about 6 or 7 low blows. Not in the round, but in the fight, we were up to like 6 or 7. Navarrete falls to the ground. And the ref's like, get up or I'm going to take a point. Like, God, bro, the dude just got punched in the nads. Give him a break. But, he tried to do everything he can to cheat. Gonzalez did. Not only that, it's not really cheating. It's kind of cheap, but it ain't cheating. He stepping on the lead foot of Navarrete and tripping him up, foot stomp. Working on a piece about Ryan Garcia, and he does some of that against Luke Campbell. You guys should be looking out for that because that's going to be really a good piece. But Gonzalez had a lot of success with this because, he's got to frustrate Navarrete. He's got to get his wins where he can. So, low blows sucks, but he did them. Headbutts. I was beginning to think, oh, he's doing these on purpose. Back of the head, he started hitting the back, trying everything, man. I mean, this dude was really, really cheating. But in the end, they went to a decision. Navarrete got the decision. It keeps his featherweight title, and we'll move up and on to bigger and better things. So, Gonzalez had a really good showing. Is he the next big thing? Probably not. Or is Navarrete the next big thing, I should be saying? Probably not. I'm pulling up the featherweight rankings right now, looking at some of the guys. You got Kid Galahad. That's a win. Leo Santa Cruz is a great fight for Navarrete. That's a really fun one. Lee Wood, that's a win. And then you got the one that I think really is trouble for Navarrete, and that's Gary Russell Jr. Russell's quick, man, or he was quick. The dude fights once a year now. He doesn't fight enough. He fought in 2021. His last fight was 2020. So, look at Gary Russell's record. If you take a second and look at it, the last few years, it's just been inactivity. Some guy I can't pronounce, in 2020. Kiko Martinez in 2019, 2018, Jojo Diaz, 2017, Oscar, 2016, 2015, 2014 is the last time he fought more than once, and that's when he fought 3 times against Jose Miguel Tamayo Lomachenko, which he lost, and Christopher Martin. So I really, I want to say Gary Russell's the key to beating him, but I don't think it is. I think Gary Russell kind of, He doesn't fight enough. He's not active enough. And he looks good in his fights when he fights, but he hasn't fought anybody great since Jojo Diaz, And that was in 2018. That's 3 years ago. A lot can happen in 3 years. So who knows what's next for Navarrete? We'll probably get a crappy fight. Or he could go up, and take on Shakur Stevenson. I mean, come on, Oscar Valdez or Herring. Those are the 3 really good fights, but I don't know if he wants to do that. He is kind of skinny. He hits hard, but yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, like I said, drop a sub, review, comment. Tell me what you thought of the fights. I'm out. Probably no UFC coverage because it's Norma Dumont versus Aspen Ladd. Even though I interviewed Norma and I like her, she's a really good fighter. But the card's just not that interesting. And Mikey Garcia, probably won't talk about that one either. No offense. Also, shout out to my boy Chris at work. Chris found out I like boxing. That's all we've been talking about. I wish I could record some of our conversations we have at work because they're great. Tyson Fury and all that. Speaking of Tyson Fury, on my MMA news, I just dropped From Good to Great. Tyson Fury and mental health, talking about how his athletic career isn't defined by an aging body, but a rough mind. And I think it's a very important piece, and I think you guys would enjoy it. All right, guys, I'm out. Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. Later.